back to the Remote No Pressure Podcast. It's great to see you, Bill.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
You know what? I like this sweater.
This is one of my favorites.
It's not from one of our sponsors or anything
No.
like that. Where did you purchase that particular item?
Sierra
Trading Post?
Yep.
A lot of people buy stuff from there. They got good fly fishing stuff, too.
They do. They got like good everything, and it's like not the secondhand store. It's just a cheaper version of REI.
It's kind of like TJ Maxx for REI.
Same company, TJ Maxx.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, so I don't know. They're not a sponsor, but I'll compliment you on that.
Yeah.
Because it does have the whole Sasquatch look.
Yep. That's what I'm shooting for.
Does your wife like that? Does she like to cuddle up
She
to you
does.
because it's
Yep.
soft? Yeah, I'm tempted to.
I've got her a couple like this too.
I'm about to cuddle in right now. I'm just kidding, Jennifer, if you're listening. No, but it looks awesome. You can go to our YouTube page and check out the Sasquatch, the Squatch sweater that Bill's wearing. Hey, and I do have my 5 o'clock shadow back, which is good because...
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, I
cold out.
I shaved a couple weeks ago. It was a really bad mistake. A couple chins later, I'm like, okay, I'm growing this thing back. Give it some depth perception, that kind of thing. So we are coming up on the spring, Bill. You got any big trips planned this spring or anything like that?
I don't. Do you?
No, I've got a couple of trips planned. I'm going to be down in Austin and actually in Georgetown in May, which will be really good. Playing for Aaron Reed's book release party, May the 7th, I believe.
Nice.
Yeah, so that'll be good. And then doing a little fly fishing here and there, start to get in the groove of things. Everything, all the rivers have been so blown out and everything here, so it's been kind of crazy. But anyways, well, Bill, it's always great to have you here. And this week on the Remote No Pressure Podcast, in other news, this is from KHOU 11. This is out of Houston.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it a reputable source?
It is. It's actually a reputable source, which we're always kind of concerned about. If it's a reputable source, we're usually not interested in this. But a 93-year-old man shoots apartment manager in both legs over water damage in unit.
Wow.
And if you look at the mugshot, we'll put the mugshot up on the socials. But if you look at the mugshot versus, like, he looks like he really got dressed up to go shoot the manager.
He looks like an old Barney Fife.
He's got the top hat going on. He's got the gun. He's got not a complete trench, but a nice.
Yeah, nice long coat.
Yeah, it's like, I'm gonna shoot someone today.
I'm gonna get dressed up to shoot someone.
I'm sick of all this water damage, so I'm going to go shoot the apartment manager. But first...
You know what'll teach him a lesson? If I shoot him.
And if I'm dressed up, then he'll really know I mean business. I'm here to conduct business. I'm going to dress up. You never conduct business looking like a slob. You gotta really dress the part. But Las Vegas, a 93-year-old Las Vegas man is facing charges after police said he shot his apartment manager in both legs during an argument last week. Robert Thomas is accused of shooting an apartment manager at the Vista del Valle apartments on Thursday morning. Thomas used a 9mm handgun and fired 3 total rounds, police said. You see, you never know what the public's going to do. You've worked with the public before.
I have.
What's the craziest thing that you've experienced with the public?
Nothing with a gun. I mean, like, for my customer service days, I'd have, like, kids stealing from us,
At the Toys R Us?
Yep.
What would they steal?
Well, back in my day, it was, like, stupid little cards. Like
Pokemon?
Yeah, like,
stuff?
It was, I think, post-Pokemon, whatever the next thing was.
Magic?
No, Magic was already out.
Magic was gone.
Yep. They were still big, Magic and Pokemon, but I think this is like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or something. I don't even know. We're talking almost 20 years ago. So.
Right.
But yeah, I remember them. Like I caught some kids in the bathroom stealing them, like and sticking the cards in their pockets and like leaving the wrappers in the bathroom, and had to call the cops on them. Or I'd have kids if I was working the checkout, they would walk by me and then like take off running out the door. But they're the slower automatic doors, so they kind of stumble along.
Especially at that Toys R Us. Yeah, it's the one on, if you're from Grand Rapids, it's the Toys R Us that was on 28th Street and M6, or the 28th Street and the Beltline.
Yep.
And that place was a dump. Like when they closed it down.
Yeah, that really was.
Not when you necessarily worked there. But every time I'd go in there, the doors were like just wide enough for one person or something. And they would open really slowly and you couldn't quite see through them.
Yep.
And I was like, are these bulletproof or like how do these
they're
work?
not. They weren't cleaned and they weren't maintained. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude.
And so I used to chase after kids out the door a little bit when they'd steal. And it would be something big enough that would have an RFID tag in it that, like, alarm.
An alarm.
Yep. Even though that was probably against the rules for me to chase after them, but Yeah.
Never happened. Toys R Us is out of business now.
Yeah, that's right.
They're completely out of business. So that's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, I hear they're making a comeback actually.
Really? Did
Yep.
someone buy them out, like buy the brand?
I think so, yeah.
Because
they're going to release select stores, and it's going to be like smaller ones like KB used to be.
KB. Yeah, KB, Circus World. Circus World. Do you remember Circus World?
I don't remember Circus World.
Circus World Toy Store was a toy store down in Texas that was actually bought out by KB Toys. And everything was always on sale. Was that how it was? Like you'd have the regular price marked out, and with red pin, it would be like 30% off.
No.
Yeah, and everything was on sale. But it was a stamp, so it looked like someone hand wrote the price in there, but really it was just a real price. And you think, oh my gosh, I saved like 30%, but really everything's 30% off all the time.
No, we did not do that at Toys R Us.
No, that was some crazy marketing. Though.
Yes.
When it first opened, you're like, oh my god,
we can't afford not to.
Yeah, you can't. I'm gonna buy 2 of these, and then you realize, well, this is a regular. And it was before the internet, so you couldn't price shop around. It was.
I'm gonna check out Amazon first.
Yeah, I always do that.
Yeah, same here.
I see people roll their eyes at me at the store, like at Meijer and stuff. I'm like,
there's a little bar scan option on the Amazon app. I found some of the Meijer stores around here will block like signal.
Really?
I found I don't know if it's all the alumina or the metal around it that kind of blocks your cell phone signal. But I don't have the best reception in there, so I can't always check different prices.
But they have Wi-Fi in there.
I've never gotten on it.
Yeah.
Oh.
They do have Wi-Fi inside your local Meijer. I think that's kind of like Walmart in most places. But you can hop on the Wi-Fi, but then they have all your data, and I'm not real comfortable with that. So
that's how they get you.
Yeah. Anyways, well, this week on the Remote No Pressure podcast, we're very excited to have Mr. Josh Bean from near Nashville, Tennessee, going to the University of Tennessee, studying fisheries management. A really good dude, and it was a great time talking to him.
Awesome.
I wish I would have studied something like fisheries. That would have been a funner.
More fun.
A more fun. Thank you, Bill. That would have been a more fun major than business management. But anyways, I'm super excited that Josh spent some time with us, and welcome to the podcast. Let's light the fire. Well, today on the Remote No Pressure podcast, I'm very excited to have Mr. Josh Bean with us. Thank you very much for hanging out with us, Josh.
Oh yeah, thank you very much. This is a great opportunity.
Yeah, and now Joe Hollingshead told me, hey, you got to reach out to my friend Josh Bean. How did you meet Joe?
Really, it was over Instagram, to be honest. Social media has really made it where a lot of people can just get in touch, especially around the fly fishing world. He's just kind of reached out to me kind of about some pictures and stuff that I've got on my Instagram, and we finally got together and go fish one day. He's a really cool guy, so we really just got in touch over Instagram.
That's great. Do you have a headset on right now, or are you talking directly into your mic or into your phone?
I'm talking directly into my phone.
Okay, excellent. Okay, good. Yeah, Joe is a great guy, and we've become good friends. I mean, he called me on Christmas Eve this year to tell me, don't do a podcast episode without a co-host, without Bill there, because it's not good. So Joe's like, you have to call me or someone to help you co-host. You can't do this on your own. Christmas Eve, mind you, Joe calls me. But no, he's become friends, and just a good dude. Now, you're studying fisheries, is that correct, there in Tennessee?
Yes.
Where are you studying at?
I'm studying at Tennessee Tech University in Cookeville, Tennessee. It's about an hour east of Nashville. Okay.
What made you decide to study that? What prompted you to go into that field?
Well, at a young age, I always had a really big interest in wildlife and especially fisheries, fishing my whole life. And I'm just really wanting to make it better for everybody. That's my goal for the future. But I guess like this, normal college kids, I guess, will go to school, trying to get a degree and make big bucks. But that was why I started. I started in pre-med, then I went to civil engineering, and I was like, I really don't like it. So I was like, I settled and went to fisheries biology, and I'm loving it. I'm a semester away from graduating and maybe looking on to go to grad school and get a master's degree.
That's awesome. Now you went from pre-med. Did you have an interest in medicine then, and that's how you started out?
My aunt's a doctor, and my mom's also in the medical field, and so is my girlfriend. She's in med school. But it kind of interests me, and I really like the biology part of it. So that's kind of what I guess triggered me to go into fisheries because I like that a lot. But engineering, there's always that part. There's always a big need for engineers. So I thought that'd be kind of cool, and I wanted to get in the environmental part of the engineering that deals with like building bridges and stuff like that. But I just didn't really like the math, so I went back to biology.
Yeah,
And stuck with fisheries.
I was a business/finance major in college, and I was afraid of math. I was afraid of it. I took informal geometry, which is basically algebra 1 for 2 years when I was in high school, and I took informal geometry, which is a year of like it's basically for the guys that aren't real smart, you know. And I took those classes, and I made A's in them and didn't try, but I was scared of math, you know. And then I got to college, and I had this professor who was like, she was just really awesome, telling us, "Don't be what's there to be afraid of." I was literally afraid of it. It caused anxiety, like math did, and I learned I was pretty dang good at it, but I had to get over that fear, and I ended up with finance and business. There's lots of math and numbers moving for that, you know. So I ended up finding my niche, but math can be a pretty wild thing.
Yeah, that's what really got me away from engineering. I didn't like math.
Yeah, and that's a hard major. It really is. I think people underestimate like the amount of time and work it takes to really do that well. Now, have you been fly fishing your whole life then?
No, I've really just kind of been going at it for about 2 years now.
What made you decide to pick up a fly rod?
Well, at a young age, I really got into like spin fishing and bait casters and stuff like that. And I grew up fishing tournaments, and that's what got me to go to Tennessee Tech. I started fishing in college fishing tournaments and stuff like that, and it was a big part of it. And I was looking for a new challenge, I guess you could say. And a cousin of mine was like, "Hey, you should pick up fly fishing. But watch out, it's going to be addicting." And boy, was he right. So now, that's pretty much what I do now. It's probably 90% fly fishing now. So and I'm loving it.
Well, I think too with fly fishing, it really is like Joe, and you've met some people through social media. We are starting to talk. I mean, it's a camaraderie thing that I don't think any other type of fishing, unless maybe you're like a shrimper offshore or something. But it's just this tight camaraderie and community. I think that makes it very appealing.
Yeah.
What you said you fish tournaments and things like that as well. Were you doing like bass tournaments or?
Yes, here at Tennessee Tech we have a bass fishing team, and we compete against all other schools around the country. And for a consistent amount of years, we usually finish in the top 10. We've had some guys go on and finish in some very big tournaments. A few years ago, we finished number 3 in the nation, and then the past couple of years, I made it to the national championship 2 years ago, and then this previous year, I fished the college portion of the Bassmaster Classic at Fort Loudon Lake in Knoxville.
Oh wow! You ever fished Toledo Bend or Sam Rayburn Lake down in Texas or not?
No, I fished a 10-killer in Oklahoma. That's where the national championship was. Actually, I've been to Lake Houston in Texas before.
Uh-huh.
But that's as far west as I've been.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people, if you've listened to the podcast, I've told stories about living in Broadus, Texas, which is home of my childhood bully, Chucky Mouton. And Broadus is actually right on Sam Rayburn Lake, and I grew up fishing in Sam Rayburn with my friends, and I didn't know it was such an epic lake, or Toledo Bend. Those two seemed like pretty good bass fishing lakes that I didn't, I took for granted because you don't think about it,
Yeah.
But so you're pretty in, you know your way around in spinning gear. I mean, do you get the same vibe with spinning gear that you do with fly fishing, or is it fly fishing? I mean, what's the difference?
Spin fishing, I mean, I enjoy it. I enjoy going out on the boat with some buddies and going after mainly bass, but fly fishing, I got into it and I felt more in touch with what I'm doing. Like, because I started with that, I felt because I was actually like kind of getting to watch the fish bite a lot, and then I got into fly tying, and it just is more sentimental to me since I started tying flies and catching fish on my own flies. That's what's really bringing me to it.
Yeah, I think there's this. It really does bring it home when you catch a fish on a fly that you tied. You are more part of the ecosystem, I think, than if you're throwing just a big sluggo or some other lure. There's something different about it. There's a science too. So someone from biology, I'm sure you can appreciate, the different stages of the mayfly and all that as well.
Oh yeah.
So with fly fishing, what are you going to try to implement that in your education, like after you graduate, or is that something you plan on using? You plan on staying there in Nashville or in Tennessee area, or kind of what do you see yourself, or is it just going to always be kind of a hobby for you?
I don't know, to be honest. Really, I mean, the education that I'm getting, I can probably put it into fly fishing quite a bit, knowing because I'm learning about all the biodiversity of a lot of streams, how everything works, like larval stages and stuff like that, and how fish just adapt and overcome different streams, and how just pretty much how stream ecology works. Mm-hmm. So I can put that into maybe tying flies or understanding how a stream or reservoir works. But I would really like to stay in Tennessee, but I'm willing to branch out. Tennessee's it's just home. I know a lot of the creeks, rivers, and reservoirs and everything here. So I mean, I'd really like to stay home.
Is that where you're from? Is that your home then? Are you from there,
yes,
born and raised?
Born and raised Tennessee.
Wow. Now when I think about fly fishing, I mean, I think about out west, even here in Michigan, there's a lot of, fly fishing culture, history as well. Tennessee, what is the scene like down there? Is it growing? Has it always been there? It's just kind of quiet. I mean, a lot of times, a river runs through it. That's the movie everybody's seen. People are familiar, like out in Idaho or Montana, the fly fishing. But what is the scene like there in near Nashville?
Let's see here. In Nashville, it's the heart of Middle Tennessee. There is a lot of smallmouth fly fishing in Middle Tennessee, and it's hard to it's a close second between it. But I love smallmouth fly fishing, and it's the fly fishing culture in Tennessee is growing. It's really big in East Tennessee, but Middle Tennessee, I think it's starting to grow a little more. We got awesome tailwaters over here, and we got plenty of smallmouth creeks and rivers to wade or float, and we also got muskie. So I mean that's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. Now, are you the furthest south that you can catch a muskie?
Yes, this is the furthest south you can catch a muskie.
How big do they get down there? Are they as big as the ones up in the north or not?
I haven't caught one on a fly yet, and that's a bucket list for 2020. I'm going to try and do that.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, but yeah, they get pretty big. I've heard of ones getting up to at least 52 inches. That's the biggest I've ever heard caught on a fly down here in the rivers.
Oh, really?
Yes,
that's pretty big. That's really big, actually. We had Robert Tomes on here. He is the author of a muskie book, How to Catch Muskie, and he's kind of the expert. And he's got some really cool books. He's got a book called Muskie on the Fly, but he's from the Chicago area. And okay. I've yet to catch a muskie either on a fly, and I would just absolutely. And I've been trying to go fishing with him since he's been on the show, but because Chicago's like 3 hours southwest of me, but I would love to catch a muskie, some big giant dinosaur on the fly.
Oh yeah, it's a bucket list.
Now, did your dad get you into fishing and the outdoors? I mean, why do you think you appreciate the outdoors so much?
My dad and my grandfather really they took me fishing at just about any chance they got when I was little, and I think the first time I ever went fishing, I was probably like 2 years old. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I couldn't. As a 2-year-old, you're not really going to be able to do much. But just being there and just kind of growing up around it, and then it's like that first fish you catch when you're little. I mean, you pretty much get hooked, and that's what happened to me. But yeah, I'd have to give credit to my grandfather and my dad for really taking me out fishing any chance they got when I was young.
Did you have a pretty good relationship with your dad then?
Yeah, we got a pretty good relationship together. We have the past few years we really haven't got to go as fish as much together because of school and everything. Because I'm from Cleveland, Tennessee, born and raised down there near Chattanooga, and I'm about 3 hours away up here, close to Nashville and Cookeville, going to school.
Okay, so you're pretty far away from him then.
Yeah.
Yeah, does he do fly fishing as well? Is he more of a spinning gear kind of guy?
No, my dad grew up doing spinning gear and stuff like that, and fishing tournaments on lakes out of a boat and stuff like that. And that's what really got me into that part. And then a cousin of mine really kind of got me into fly fishing, and it came in like a storm since then.
So is your dad a professional tournament angler then, or?
No, he just fished your normal, like either Monday or Thursday night wildcats, or just he's just really a weekend warrior.
Okay, wow. So you did grow up around that. Do you guys hunt at all, or is fishing your main?
Fishing is my main thing. I'm starting to get into hunting, and that really kind of came in last year. I've got a bunch of buddies at school that hunt a lot up here, so they're just kind of taking me under their own wing and showing me the ropes of that.
It's funny, the whole thing with hunting. I don't hunt at all. I picked one hobby and tried to get really good at it, because it's like you fish, you hunt, you spinning gear, you fly fish, ice fish. Here we ice fish. And everyone that listens to this podcast know that I despise ice fishing, but I still do it in the wintertime. But I was at let's see, it was a university up north. With my son. I can't remember the name of it. Lake Superior State University, which is way up north, and they have a game room there. And I thought, well, it's a game room, like with foosball and all of that. But when you actually go down there, it's a place to clean your game. So
wow, that's awesome.
I was like, "Are you kidding?" Because they have an awesome fisheries program there, in the way north. I mean, it's right there by Canada, like across the bridge here in Canada, and we went there with my son for a school overnight retreat, kind of to check it out and stuff. And they had a game room there, and I thought that was one of the coolest things, because most colleges, like, you can't have your guns or your hunting gear on campus, but they're like encourage it and the outdoors for sure. It's pretty sweet.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot for spending some time with me. I know that you said this is the first time you've been on a podcast, but if people wanted to reach out to you just to chat with you or follow you, how would they do that? I'm
on just about almost all social media. Mainly just Instagram at Josh Bean Fishing. It's all lowercase all the way through, no spaces or anything like that. It's just Josh Bean Fishing. Just give me a follow or something like that, or just shoot me a message. I'll talk to anybody.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Josh, and good luck with your studies. Good luck with everything that you're doing, and we just really appreciate you taking time for us.
Oh, no problem. This is an awesome opportunity.
Well, thanks for hanging out with me, Bill.
Yeah, it's a good time.
It's always a fun time with you hanging. It's always a fun time with you guys listening in here to the Remote No Pressure podcast. Be sure to check out our Facebook page, our Instagram, especially our Instagram. We're trying to get to 10,000.
Yeah, almost there.
10,000 followers there. No, we're not starting a cult. I hate the word followers. I really hate that word. But go check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and our website, remotenopressure.com. And until next time, go fishing.